Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to make this Mount Fuji poster, and it is going to be a motion poster. There are going to be some video elements to it that are going to be, motion. And yeah, let's just get started. So for the image, let's just head on to Unsplash, and I think we are going to go search Mount Fuji. I've already searched this, so this is actually a really nice image, but it's unsplash plus, so we cannot use that. Let's just go with this image. This is actually a really nice and I don't know, just a beautiful image. So we'll just get this. I have already downloaded this, I think. Yes, I have that downloaded. So yeah, that is downloaded. Okay, so once in Photoshop, let's just create a new file, and we're going to go into the saved ones. I already have this, poster portrait, that is a portrait form poster, that is 1080 by 1350 pixels, so it's kind of a portrait poster. So yeah, we're gonna go this size. Let's The shortcut to zoom in, so that the window fits your whole screen is Control O. That does it. So now in this, with the first layer, what we want is we are going to paint this black. And now above this, we have locked the layer. Let's create a layer above this, and here we are going to go into the rectangle tool. Let's just draw a rough rectangle here. That should do the trick for us right now. And I'm going to place this at the corner, Control T, and we're just going to scale this by pressing Shift to the size of the whole window. Once that is done, we again press Control T, but this time we press Alt and just scale this down to something like, I think this should be okay. And as you can see, since we drew a rectangle, we can just go here and give this some edge. There is a The other way to do this is to just select the tool, the rectangle tool or the shape tool, and you get this circles over here. You can select just one circle and do it. As you can see, you can do this, or you can just click once and that should do it for all the circles. I think I'm gonna go with something 100 pixels. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so with that done, we are just going to lock this layer as well. I think so. This is a nice one, or maybe I just want to scale this up. Let's just unlock this and just scale this up a bit. So it's around this much, I think. Yeah, we don't want the black borders to be a lot. Yeah, this looks good. Now we just on this. Now we bring the image that we had. So let's just open the image. That was this image. Let's just drag this. Here, as you can see, we've got the image. Let's just scale this to what we want it to be. I'm going to get this image somewhere in between. I think, yeah. So I think this looks good. Now somewhere here, okay. Is it in the center? Okay, yeah. And now, what we are going to do is, first of all, let's just rasterize this layer. And inside of this, let's do the first things first. We're going to filter, camera raw filter, and we are going to edit this. Of course, you can just select maybe auto and see what that does. I don't like that a lot. I'm gonna go do things my own way. So let's just change the contrast to something we like. Something like maybe 35 looks good, I think. Exposure can be turned down a bit. Give this, okay. Shadows. And what if, yeah, we will give this shadows of something negative. Or maybe I want this to be, a bit more clear, I think. Something like 37, I think. Highlights, we can just, you know, make this in the negative. So something like 41 works, I think. Whites. We don't want a lot of whites. Blacks. We can remove any blacks if we want. And that is too dark. We can give this something like minus 26, I think. And now the saturation will increase the saturation. And the vibrance will increase it as well. But maybe I don't want the saturation to be a lot. Just okay, so this looks good, I think. Yeah, I actually think this looks good. This is the before and after results. Okay, let's just click OK. So this is the image that we have. I think this looks good actually. Yeah, I think it does look good. Now, again, what we're gonna have to do is create a rectangle. This time, let's just give the stroke 0. Let me see. This rectangle you see should not have any stroke. And let's just lock this. And now above this, we're gonna create a rectangle. Let's just give this a random fill, something like, I don't know, just give this a sky blue so that it just fills it with that color. So make a small rectangle, press V, and now bring it to the corner of your image. Auto snapping should do a good job. Press shift and scale this to the size of the image. And now, since again it is a rectangle, we're just gonna make the edges go around 100 again, I think. Yeah, I think 100 looks good here as well. And now we bring this below the image. As you can see, it should be below our main image. Right click on the image and create a clipping mask. As you can see, that just looks beautiful. But 100 is a lot, I think. Let's just take it down to something like 50 maybe. Okay, yeah, 50 looks good. So now we can just select these two and rasterize the layer. Maybe, okay, first we have to convert this to a smart object and then rasterize the layer. As you can see, that is, we have got this now, with the curved edges. I'm sure there are other ways to do this, but I think this is a simpler way and I like this way. So there's no worries to this. And now above this, we're going to add a text. That is going to be, the text should be around 24 pixels. Okay, so let's just click and the text should be in caps. Mount Fuji. Okay, so I think this is a nice text. We're gonna use this only. Just scale this up. Is that okay? What font is this? I like this font. Or maybe we can use Sugar Magic. Yes, this is the font to go, I think. What else have we got? This is nice. Play victim. No. We're gonna go with Sugar Magic. I've already downloaded. If you want to download this font, I'll give you a quick link to that. In the fonts, we have gotten. Okay, so we just go on to unblast.com and here you can search for. Okay, there it is. See, it's on their front page. It's Sugar Magic. It's a nice font. I really like this one. You can just download the free version. I have the free version right here with me. I don't have the premium one, don't worry. Now we can just scale this up. Yeah, if you see, auto snapping does a good job of making it, in line with the image. Let's just take it down. Yeah, I think so. We can keep this black. This looks good, in the black. Mount Fuji. Yes, I like this. And now, what I'm also thinking is, I saw this on an Instagram post once, and I really love how the effect looks. I think so. What I'm gonna do is right now over here, we'll just go up to Google Translate. What we want to do is from English to Japanese. I'm sure Mount Fuji is based in. Let's just search Mount Fuji. Japan. Okay, so we just search to Japanese and Mount Fuji. It is popularly called as Fuji-san, if you might just see here. Okay, so we'll just copy this, the Japanese text. Over here, we again go into the text tool. This time, the font should be something like Made Infinity. I'll go with this font, just paste it. We can give this the bold one, and we want this to be white in color. because it should match the background that we have. And now we type, we want this to be this way. Design by the moon. Okay, so you have this. You're gonna scale this really small, that it's just the size of this text right here. Think, because you don't want this to be so crammed up. And if you are watching this video in any quality above 720 print, the text still won't be clear, because we're working with pixels, right? So that is how it should look. On the zoom out, I think if someone does zoom in, it looks, as you can go, yeah, I think that works well. I don't think so that I would want this to be bold as well. Yes, that is okay. And this seems like too much of size. I'll just change this to 4 pixels. Yeah, that works for me. I think it looks much better. Okay, now what else do we need? Okay, I think this still looks very big. Just gonna select this and this by pressing shift, scale them down to something like that, and just keep them up right here. I think that looks okay. Now maybe somewhat here, I think, or somewhat maybe this to be, maybe we can just stack this as well, and then scale this so that it's in alignment with this. Just okay, so that looks much better, I think. You don't want to select the image, just select these two. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now for below this, what we need is Mount Fuji and the about section in Google. That I think is the best, suited for this. Let's just copy this, and in the text tool, we are going to click and then drag. As you can see, this draws a box over here, and we can just draw it any size we want. I'm gonna go with this size, and let's just paste it right now. Select everything, make this black. As you can see, that pretty much looks good to me. Okay, so what I think is that the image is a bit too big for us right now. So let's just select this and this. Select them both, Control T. Okay, let's just Control T. Yes, I think this is the perfect size. For anything below this area, we can just, crop this out, I'm sure. Let's just go into the cropping tool and just, that should do it. Yes. And this looks good to me, actually. Now this is looking really well. Now we'll add another image. I think I'm gonna go with this one. I already have an image downloaded, that is portrait, so I don't want that. We can go with this image, or maybe something else we find for Mount Fuji. Oh, this looks like a nice spot. Everyone has pictures from this spot of the mountain. So what else do we find? Maybe we can get something of a more close up, like this one maybe. These are all really nice. Like, okay, so for the main image, we've already got an image that is, from the far away peak of the mountain. So now let's just get something that is in the close up, like this one. Let's just download this. Once the image is done downloading, we just import it onto here. I'm not going to need this so big. We're gonna keep the image over here. As you can see, this looks about nice. This looks okay. So I don't think so there is enough space on the bottom right corner of the image where I think I will be needing more space. So let's just double click this, and we can just scale this somewhat like this. Think so that should do it. Looks good to me. Is that okay? Or if I move this here, I think I'll be needing more space. So let's just change the font size to something like, we don't want this to be, too big. Yeah, 3.5 is the perfect size, I think, for us right now. Okay, so this looks proper about here. And now we can just move this over here. So we've got too much, there's too much space right now, I think. I'm not gonna need this much right now. So let's just move this somewhere here. That is too centered. I don't know. I don't want that to be too centered. But this over here looks proper. So maybe we can just change the font to something 3.75. And now move this here. Double click. Now make this a bit more big. Okay, so yeah, I think this works out right. We can scale this image down a bit, so that it matches this. And what we are also going to do now is select this text and give this, change its alignment, if that's called. It's in the under the paragraph section. We're gonna make this, in this line, because we've got the image over here, right? So there's too many lines here, but that's just how it is right now, I think. So okay, so with that done, I was forgetting this. Now what we want to do is, let's just rasterize this layer. I think so this is well color graded, so I'm not going to do any changes to this image. But let's just go ahead into the rectangle tool, make another rectangle. We want this to be a shape. Let's just create a shape. Again, press V, get this to the corner of the image, Control T, press Shift, get it to the size of the image. And now since this is a rectangle again, we can give this a bit of curved edges. We'll bring the image above this, right click and create a clipping mask. So yeah, that looks much better right now, It goes with the theme that we have. Now, for the next thing, what we want to do is search for mountain quotes. I already did a background research, before starting this video. And what I happened to like was this quote, it's by William Shakespeare, "Our peace shall stand as firm as Rocky Mountain." So let's just, okay, wait, you know what? We, okay, so now we will select this quote. I like this one much better on the second thoughts. "The mountains are calling and I must go." Don't worry, I'm not going. Let's just, and we want this over here in a circle because this is going to be a motion graphics. This is going to have motion to it. So let's just go into the ellipse tool and select a path. And let's just draw a small circle. About 116 pixels works for me, I think. And let's just press V. As you can see, this is the path that we made. Once we go into the text tool now, we go to horizontal type tool. And if you see that when I'm above this vertex or this or this or this, there comes a curve behind the tool. That means that we are going to select that circle as our path. Now here I can just paste the code. "The mountains are calling." Where's the rest of it? So let's just select the text, the whole of the text, and scale this down. I don't think so we need the full stop right now. And we can change this to 0 or something like optical. Okay, wait, let's just do that first. And now select the text, and inside of this let's just change this to optical or maybe 0, or we can just play around with the size. That that should work as well. So that's not, we'll go with something like 3.8, I think. Okay, so we just change this to 3.85. That works. 3.8. Okay, I think 3.9 should work. And voila, there you go. That looks not so great, to be honest, on the second thoughts. Okay, we can maybe just select this, Control T, scale this up about this much. Wait, we can just make this the size of this. Okay, and inside of this, it does not look so good plain. What we are going to do obviously is, this is going to be rotating, so we want that effect. So what I think we will do now is just head on to Google. Let's go. A world grid vector image free. Let's see what do we get. Okay, so I'm not getting the image. Okay, or maybe what we can do is we can search for Japan map vector free download. There we go. So I've got the image, and now let's just bring this in. I'm gonna keep this the same size. We will firstly rasterize the layer, then create, like, just convert it to a smart object, head into it, and over here we'll just go into select and color range, select the white, and okay, and then just backspace. As you can see, that does our job, and everything else is okay. So let's just save this. As you can see, that should do it. But if you see, there is already this some white speckles into this. So here inside of this, we'll just go into effects, color overlay, and give this a black color overlay, and then just save this. So that should do the job. So let's just Control T now, and now we can just make this any size we want. This is going to be something like this. Okay, so now I think this looks much better. And now to add the motion to this, we will just head on to PremierPro, and let's just begin doing that. Okay, so in PremierPro, we'll just create a new project called this Mount Fuji poster, and let's just create the new project. We are of course not importing any media on this. We'll just head into the project and then get the media. So we'll just import media now. What we're going to import is, first of all, we need the green screen birds flying thing in the Photoshop, and what we're going to need next is the Mount Fuji poster as well. And with that done, let's just get the Mount Fuji thing and just add this. That's proper in the vector. What we need is what I need this to start from here, and about here. Let's just import this. We'll make this to the same size, and now to this we'll just go into effects and add ultra key. Just drag and drop this, and inside of here in the effect controls we can see this key color. We'll just select this, and yes, that does it for us. And as you can see, it's a proper thing. There's birds flying out and everything, so that actually looks really good to me, I think. Yeah, so now to this, I think the birds are too much, just coming into our eye. So I'll just change this to something like soft light. Not this. What we want to do is select the birds and change the blend mode to soft light. As you can see, this is much more better. This is and things. So those words are supposed to be used in that order, much more better. Okay, so now of course we do not want these birds flying out of anywhere, so we'll just go into the opacity and just redraw a mask that is about this much, and let's just draw this. It's okay if we are about a bit wrong, that's okay. We can just press this. I don't know what this key is called, but I'll just press this, and okay, so I think that would do it. Yes, that does it. Okay, so now once this is done, I think this looks much better. We'll just create a copy of this, and now to this we want to just go into the opacity again, and but this time we'll just not just do this. We want to make this a circle, and what I want to do is I want to select this. As you can see, maybe just can I just do this? Okay, let's just go ahead and make this a circle. I think so this is proper. Okay, so now to this we also need to if we rotate this, now it's going to be rotating this way, and I'm sure we do not want that. So we'll just in the anchor point, we want to move this anchor point. Oh, so no, we'll just yes, so we can just directly select this anchor point and bring this about here. We are gonna go and select this center. Let's just hope I do a good job with this. Now if we rotate it, it should rotate properly. 0. What we want to do is in the start of this, we'll just give this a keyframe, and so at the end of this we'll give it a keyframe, and this should be 360 times 3 maybe. So that is too fast. What was that? Oh, no, we just want to okay, over here we do not want this keyframe, obviously. Over here, no, we do not want this to be, we want this to be 360 times 3, so it's 360 is into 3, so that is 3060. Okay, we do not want that. What do you want is 360 720, and then 720 plus 360 would be 1080 1080. That is 3 into, yes, I think so that should do it. It is too fast. I'll just go here with this keyframe, change this to something like 353, I guess. Okay, let's just change this to 360, and I think this would do it based on the size that we have. And now if we check, I think so that is doing a good job. Okay, so yeah, this looks good, but if you notice, we do not want this Japan logo to move, right? So we'll just create another copy above this, and now to this copy again, go into the opacity. We'll just create this. Now we'll just make it so that you not see any of those layers, of course. And now to this layer, we'll just opacity, that should do things. Just zoom in into this. It's okay if it's not a circle, we just want to select the Japan the map that we added, so that should look. Okay, did I give this? Does this need one? Oh, did I give this another one? Okay, for this one, we do not need this mask. And as you can see, voila, that looks pretty good, I think. And now what we also want is, we want to add a blur effect, that we had. So what we'll be doing is, for that, it's a really easy thing. Let's just first select all of this, right click and nest. Let's just motion effect rotating. Let's just, freeze up our timeline a lot, because we're not going to change any of these things later on. So now we'll just create a copy for this. To this we'll just fast blur, I think. Yes, fast blur is, I think, it does not take up a lot of processing, and it's a nice blur. As you can see, this is the blur. We'll just give this something like 30. Okay, so once we've added the blur, we'll just go into the opacity and again create a mask. This time we'll just change the mask feather to 0, which I think we should have done for the last thing as well, but it's just with the white, so that's okay. The mask path, as you can see, we'll just make this something like a circular thing, and as you can see, it already does what we want it to do. So this looks like a good enough circle for me, I think. It's too big, but let's just scale this down to something like this. Okay, this looks good. And again, we can change the fast blur to something less, if that seems a lot. Just make this 35 is a lot. Just make this 25, I think. This should do it actually. And because obviously we want it to be having something or else. As you can see, there is the blur, and any board that goes behind it will have the blur as well. And we are going to, for this, we also need to give this a drop shadow, but the problem, if you'll see, is if we go into drop shadow over here and add this, and if we just select this and now give this some kind of a drop shadow, opacity to be 100. Let's just first work on the scale of this. And now if we give this, any kind of drop shadow, I don't think so you'll be able to see it anyways right now, because it is not around this circle. So for that, what we will have to do is, again to this, we'll just nest this again. Now as you can see, this is the sequence. Now if we scale this up, let's just go into motion, and now if we just select this, or maybe just scale this up, as you can see, it works out that way. And now to this, if we go ahead and give this a drop shadow, that should do the trick. As you can see, that shadow just appears over here. We want this to be normal. Now inside of this, opacity should be this. There should be a certain softness to the shadow. The distance, you see, should be 0. Softness, I think this is the proper amount. Or maybe just, let's just make this 100. And as you can see, this is how it appears, and it looks wonderful. What we can do to this is, now again, we'll just do the same thing for the other one. To this, we'll just go into fast blur. Gaussian blur works as well. And then I'm just selecting it to be fast blur right now, just 25. I think 25 is what we went with. Go in here, just make this small. We don't want this to be too big, and we want this to be here, I think. Okay, so here I think this is a proper place for it. Somewhat around here. as you can see, that looks again wonderful. So now to this, I think we have given this the proper, is this actually where we want this to be, because if we don't, we can just change the weather mask first of all. And now to this, and just select this mask and make this around here. I think, yes, that is much better. I think, you know at the corner of it, because it just looks more refined. And now to this, again, just create a nest, nested sequence 3, whatever it names, it works for us. Over here we'll just go into drop, we'll just go into drop shadow. The shadow color and everything is okay. Just change this and give the softness of 100. Okay, so as you can see, we have made our poster and it looks wonderful. And if you're thinking if this can be done in After Effects or DaVinci, everything works out and it's just, whatever floats your boat. So I think I'm gonna go with this because it looks just remarkable. Now we can just export this and we are good to go. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot from it. And I learned a lot from this as well. This was my first time creating a poster like this, with the blur, the glass effect, and I think, we can all see the result and it's just worth the time and effort we put into this. Thanks for watching and make sure you subscribe. I will be back with more content really soon. Adios.